Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I got another action figure review for you, and it's the Armourer from the Mandalorian, obviously from the Star Wars Hasbro Black Series line. It's something I picked up very recently actually. I managed to get a huge discount on this figure and ended up only paying £5 for it. So I thought, why not? She's a cool character, and can't go wrong for that price. So we're going to do a review today, just a nice quick one. So we're going to jump into it. Do subscribe if you're new here, and you won't miss any of the content to come, and do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. So first of all, as always, what comes in the box? So she doesn't come with any weapons per se, although kind of does she, because all we saw on screen is her absolutely own stormtroopers with these kind of blacksmith weapons. So you've got your kind of like tongs here, just silver, and although they do bend, they don't actually work in terms of as like pliers or like a set of tongs. But it's cool that that we get that. And then second in the box is her kind of like hammer that she uses to kind of shape shape her armor that she produces. Although the really cool like forge that they have in the Mandalorian for her, it kind of looks like it does most of the work for her, which is cool. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from her, but I mean, in terms of tools, the blacksmith trade has really changed in the Star Wars universe. But that's all that's going to come in the box accessories wise, so we'll put them to the side for now. But they are really cool, of course. And the Armourer, she was quite the main kind of predominant character in the first season of Mando. But just taking a look at her, I mean, she looks absolutely awesome, doesn't she? I mean, straight off the bat, they've killed the design on this. They've absolutely nailed it. The paint applications are fantastic as well. I love the colour scheme. She was such a cool character. She was kind of like cool and reserved, and really kind of knowledgeable, and seemed like an elder, although obviously she seemed quite young. Her kind of experience and knowledge seemed like she was an elder. And then obviously at the end, when she was kind of staying behind, and she was like, this is the way. It was really awesome to see her absolutely just decimate the stormtroopers with her her mallet, or sort of hammer, and her tongs. So that was cool. Seeing like the stormtrooper armor shatter for the first time, that was like one of my sort of favorite parts of that episode. Obviously, as I say, the design, they've absolutely nailed the design in terms of how she looks compared to on screen. Fantastic looking. I mean, obviously, if you look at the detail, we've got, if I can get into focus for you, we've got the detailing on the boots, up with the trousers, and the texture of the kind of wrinkles, and then the different colour scheme in here, the kind of grey and the browns look really nice, up to the kind of like a skirt, but kind of like a tunic as well, split in the sides for articulation purposes, so you can kind of move her around, and it is that rubbery material. But in terms of the look, I mean, look at the texture of that. It looks brilliant, and they've really put some weathering in here, and got some black paint amongst the brown, so that looks fantastic. I really like the gauntlet, the kind of quilted look, like quilted kind of pads there, and her gloves, moving up to kind of the arms, the grey and the brown again. Nice detailing in the mould work, but the paint applications are on point. Like there's no real bleeding here, and I love the colour scheme, but they've absolutely nailed it in terms of application. It's not sloppy, so it's very well done. Up on her kind of belt area, she does have a nice little bit of detailing work, bit of gold and silver on there, and then some kind of like buckle looking molds which look really nice. Her Beskar armor plate, that kind of bronze, she kind of reminds me of, obviously the helmet is gold, which is awesome, but she kind of reminds me of that bronze era, like she's got that feel about her and that look. But yeah, that Beskar bronze armor plate obviously looking fantastic, again with the quilted shoulders. And then obviously on the back, the kind of tunic skirt It's kind of like Celtic looking as well. The brown and the black, really nice. They've obviously gone in with a wash to, give it some definition and detail, and I really like the actual design of it. And then obviously her famous kind of like fur shawl, or kind of like, it's not really a cape, but it's kind of like a, just throw it on when you're a bit chilly maybe. But that does pop off, so that's nice. Means that we can kind of do some scenes without it, because obviously it comes up around the shoulders, so does kind of hinder articulation in some aspects, but it's nice that it's removable, because we can just pop it on there like the jetpacks and stuff like that, that we get with other figures from the Black Series line. And obviously, I mean, that's just moulded, it's not the deluxe where it's like actual fur, or rather, fake fur. But I really like the texturing. Again, the browns and the blacks give it some nice definition. That's really nice. Looks awesome. So yeah, really good looking figure. The helmet obviously is the kind of piece de la resistance on this figure. Obviously the gold iconic helmet with the studded kind of spikes out the top. Nice bit of weathering on this, that she's got the kind of like dirty, it's not completely shiny, which is good. It's kind of like the Mandalorian helmet with the brown kind of weathering on it as well. But obviously up close and focus, I mean, look at that. She looks so awesome. I'd like to see more of her. I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of her in season 3. I'm sure they'll be back trying to reclaim Mandalore in some way, so I'm sure she'll be around. But yeah, she was an awesome character, and in that first season we kind of didn't see enough of her, in my opinion. But again, hopefully she comes back. In terms of articulation, she looks pretty standard. It doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot, and to be honest, in terms of the articulation of the character, she was pretty reserved for most of the time, but then she got real acrobatic, in that last episode, kind of absolutely kicking Stormtrooper ass. So you would expect and want some good articulation from her. So let's have a look. So let's get it in focus for you. In terms of a toe point, that's fantastic. That's a really good toe point in terms of pointing to the sky. She's got a little bit of flex, but not much. Ankle does rotate, which again, very good. Up to the knee is a little bit stiff, but so that's kind of disappointing. She will barely get to 90, if you can see it in focus. Obviously she's got a good toe point, so she could kind of do a kneeling pose or something, maybe, but that articulation isn't as good as I would have liked, although kind of they've worked the kind of texture of the trousers in there together. So I guess, with the overhang of the knee piece here, that hard plastic piece, that's why you can't go any further back or forward. In terms of at the hips, like I said, the tunic is kind of split, which allows you to get these legs up and down, which is very good. She will come up in the front, which is good. You can see that there's nothing here blocking her coming up, so you can get her up to to 90 in the front, and again you can get her out sort of to the side and to the back, and it's that joint, that classic joint we talk about, where it's got that rotation that allows you to get some maybe high kicks in there and be acrobatic in that way. So what you don't get in the knee, you're getting it made up in the hip, which is nice. And as you can see, it's just if I can get into focus, it's just a ball and socket. So that's nice, means that we can do some kind of acrobatic stuff of her doing some kicks or flips or whatever, and being badass in that way. Obviously because of that, she'll get pretty good split, and yeah, that's a very good bit of articulation there. So in terms of the hips, obviously we don't have a wiggle down at the lower torso because of where this belt situation is, quite a high-waisted belt, so you're going to get torso move above that though, and that's 360. That's pretty good. And you're going to get a little bit of a side-to-side wiggle, a little bit of a ab crunch back and forth, which is pretty good. In terms of the head, again with these newer builds, really nice that they've gone for a blank head sculpt under there to size the helmet better, and as well they've really opened up the articulation in the neck. So you've got again the classic with a new, in focus there, with a new wave. You've got the chicken neck, which allows you to sort of come forward down more. So she's got a fantastic chin to chest. She can really look down, which is nice if you're doing any photography shots with like Grogu or something, or just like a kneeling, if you've got Mando and a heavy Mando kneeling or something, she's looking down talking to them, you can do that. She's got really good side to side, that's a really good tilt side to side. She'll look back really, she'll look up really well as well, and because you can tilt her, she's got that flex in the waist sort of area to kind of ab crunch forward and back. That means you can lean back and look up, and lean forward and look down. So obviously very good in that respect. So that's actually the helmet, and because it's a little bit of a smaller sort of Mandalorian helmet, because of the scale of the character, it means that you have even more articulation, where a Boba Fett helmet might bang into the armor a little bit sooner because it's kind of a bigger bucket on top of his head, if you will. She's got really good articulation, so that's surprisingly good. Really nice to see, fantastic. In terms of the hands, you do get the wrist curl in a little bit, which, if I can get that into focus for you, which is nice, obviously, because she's very handy as being an armourer, a blacksmith. In terms of a bicep curl, she's got kind of 90, just above 90, if we're being generous, which is pretty good. But then in terms of the shoulder pauldrons, like this Beskar kind of armour plate connected to the shoulder pauldron, the Beskar armour plate is hard plastic, but this little brown kind of padded quilted looking thing is rubbery, so it does move. So I looked at it and thought, oh, she looks like she might struggle, but she'll get pretty much to a T-pose at 90, so that's pretty good. In terms of if I can pop her arms down, in terms of the rotation, she will get up, and like I say, because it's rubbery, it does kind of just move itself out of the way, so she does have good articulation, better than you'd probably think, which is good. So in terms of versatility, you could argue that she's very versatile because she's a Mandalorian, and you could put her in all sorts of scenes and be very creative, in terms of prequels, maybe even putting her in scenes to do with Mandalore, as she seems to be. She's a whereas kind of there was Children of the Watch, she seems like she's quite the elder, she's in charge, so she might be someone who knows about that era and was a part of it. You could use her in the Mando scenes and these kind of original trilogy era and that sort of thing. So on the one hand you might think, oh, we didn't see her much, so she's limited to Mando, but from a toy photography standpoint, for sure, definitely you can be really creative, and she's another Mandalorian, so I think the possibilities are sort of endless in that respect. She's a good little figure, and I do think she's probably underrated. I certainly didn't want to necessarily pay all that money just to have her as a character originally, because I thought, oh, you don't get many weapons, and we don't have like a forge that comes with her or anything like that, so I was like, I'd want more accessories, but I got it at a great price. The deluxe looks really cool. Again, it's if you can get it for the right price. But I would really like to see more Black Series kind of like diorama sort of deluxe packs with figures or more accessories. I'm really enjoying the more and more deluxes we're getting with more accessories. It's just nicer from a display standpoint, because you get to display more, you get more bang for your buck, but definitely from a toy photography standpoint, you want more to work with. So she's a good little figure. So overall, I think she gets an 8 out of 10 from me. She's awesome. I can't wait to see Mando's season 3 and see if we see more of her. But that's going to do it for me, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.